hey, are we on the internet? Okay. I'm tired.
Me too. I'm right there with you.
Okay, so welcome to the Northern Knits podcast. We are two sisters in fiber who talk knitting and, if we're honest, everything else we can think of under the sun
Many, many
during
other
this
things.
many other things. Coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I'm Jocelyn,
I'm Diana.
and today we are via distance because life.
Life is exhausting.
Life is exhausting. I literally woke up a half hour ago. It's like 8:30, guys. Like I was napping for 3 hours. It's kind
Yeah,
of ridiculous.
disregard this bright light right here. It's dark. Well, it's not
Mm-mm,
dark.
nope.
It's not
The
early.
sun's setting-ish right now. Yeah. So this is episode number 64, she says.
She says questioningly, I think you're correct. She agrees quizzitively.
I'm done editing videos and they're up by Wednesday during the week. So by the time we record on a Sunday or Monday, I have no idea what episode we're on anymore.
I just did show notes on like Friday, Saturday. You'd think I know
Must be
what.
64 because the last time I typed in an episode, I think I typed in 63.
Sure,
We're
we'll
going to
go
say
with that.
64. The internet will correct me if I am wrong
Yep.
because that's what they do. So being as we're distance, it's going to be wonderfully disjointed as the norm.
Yep.
We're going to blame too much tea on Sunday and my need for way too much testing.
Yep.
They do love to check my body to make sure it's functioning properly. You'll be happy to know.
It's
Healthy
functioning
as a horse.
properly.
As, given all the problems I probably should have, none of those occur. I get weird ones that require lots of checkups later to make sure and monitor crap. But no, it's fine. Everything's good. I was right. It's hard to breathe into that because, well, it's a big fancy machine. I don't know if you've ever had to do it before,
I have
but
not.
they put a mask over your face, obviously, because they're testing your lung capacity. And you have to breathe, and it's compressed air, and it gets harder because they want to see how forcefully you can expel air from your lungs. It's
Interesting.
not a difficult test. And it measures your lung capacity, like how much you can take in, how much they measure a whole bunch of other stuff, and how much you can push out, and how strong your lungs are. Which is fair. I did a lot of damage as a teenager with a very nasty viral bronchitis, and I did some serious damage. So they like to check every once in a while to make sure I haven't done additional damage. It didn't help that I smoked when I was a teenager. In the realm of things that you do when you're young and dumb.
That is one of the few
So
dumb things I have not done.
yeah, I kicked that habit the month my sister told me she was pregnant. That's when I quit. So I must have been 23.
Although I suppose I should admit, truthfully, I tried vaping twice and I hated
I
it
don't
both
like,
times.
no, no,
And so I'm
no,
good.
I'm not a,
Curiosity
I wasn't,
satisfied. I don't need to try anything else.
I wasn't a vapor. I was a cigarette smoker in the back of the mall. I worked retail people. People are exhausting. They are exhausting.
I know. I had a wedding shower yesterday. People are exhausting.
Yeah, you got a bunch of presents and had to wear a silly hat. I got photos to put up with this podcast episode, so people have
Joy.
already seen them on Instagram because I've posted some of those. Hey,
I shared a dumb hat
keep that
picture with
tone of
people at work.
keep that tone of voice, ma'am, and I'll talk to Charlie, your mom, ma'am, the boys' mom,
Well, as the
the
second tallest
mode.
member of Knit Club.
It's okay. We also got a good photo of the two of us, even though yes, you were still wearing your ridiculous hat. It was your wedding shower. You were supposed to. The signing of the umbrella was really cool.
Oh, you
However,
know what I have in the next room is the silly hat. Should I go get the silly hat?
I think so. Yes,
Okay, well, I'll be back
I
in two
agree.
seconds then.
This
Mic
should happen.
off.
I'm gonna cut this part out. All right. We want Patreon.
Mic on.
I love it.
Yeah.
Super excited.
It's
I'm
a
gonna make your
great
screen
hat.
big. Ah, yes. It is
It's a
very
noisy
poofy.
hat. And this
It's that.
bouquet.
It's the poofy thing on the side. That's what I was eating.
I made everybody eat it. That's your punishment for making me wear this stupid hat. Everybody that took a picture with me had to eat this bouquet.
Yeah, well, you're the one getting married. It's part of the tradition.
Oh, I have sparkles on me again. We got sparkles. You can't see it on
That's
camera. I'm just covered
that
with
is
sparkles again.
that's all Kayla. There was no
the tissue
sparkle.
paper that Reds and C wrapped their present in was also sparkly.
I didn't do sparkles.
Do appreciate
I
that.
found
There were a lot of
purple
sparkles.
tissue paper
I'm
because
gonna put
I
my
know you
headset
love
back on, so
purple.
I'm gonna take off this stupid rustly hat now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ugh. Okay, now that I've deafened everybody with the rustly hat.
Yeah, I barely heard it, so we should be fine. All right. We didn't talk beforehand, so do you want me to say what we're covering this week? What do you want to cover this week? What would you like to talk about that is knitting and or additionally knitting related? Or not even remotely knitting related.
We've got some what's in our cup and some cool threads for sure. And
Yes,
woolly
we do.
workings as always because this is a knitting podcast.
Yes, we will talk about our knitting eventually. Yep.
Let's see. Do you have any fiber flubs? Do I have fiber? I do. Oh, I have a fiber flub.
Red rescued me, so no fiber flubs.
What do we normally have to do after fiber clubs? Yarn on the go. I'm sure our yarn went places.
Mine did. It went to Stonewall yesterday.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And excuse me. Then there's probably not any spinning or sewing.
There is some sewing.
Okay. Excellent. Sewing. And then events and not a review because I still haven't reviewed that book.
No, we were supposed to be reviewing this week.
Oh, good.
Magazine this week, book next week. So
I forgot about the magazine, so good. I'm prepared. I already read that magazine.
I know you did. How are you going to get that book review done? Because I'm seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're reviewing around working.
I'll review it at lunch tomorrow. I'll sit outside and take a long lunch and review it outside.
That'll work.
It'll be good.
It'll be a good place. Well, if you get a good opportunity for a good photo shot, take one.
I will do my best. Try and get some goslings in the background.
Cool beans. They're cute, but I hate geese.
Yeah, I don't want to get too close to the parents.
They're mean.
They are.
Mean birds.
They are.
Super mean. All right, shall we discuss what's in our cup? I'm drinking a super festive Christmas mug today.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, I haven't actually bought any giant mugs that aren't Christmas themed. I probably should do that.
I have in my Northern Knits podcast mug that I'm still so pleased with how that turned out. One of the presents I got yesterday is a fancy, like, restaurant grade milk frother. So I made myself. You can't see anymore because I drank some, but I made myself a tea latte complete with foam on top out of almond milk. And the tea I used was the Wonder Ayurvedic. I don't know how you say that word. Anyway, Ayurvedic chai from the Amsterdam Tea Room.
Nice. I'm having some chai mat from the McCormick's Tea and Coffee Merchants on Broadway in Saskatoon.
Does every city have a Broadway?
Well, it's technically their Broadway's like our Osborne. That's kind of what it is, situational-wise. So it's a whole bunch of small vendory boutique dudes, which, I mean, I love going and walking and visiting because that's also the same street where I get the cheese from the cheese place. And that's also where that French bakery is, Crave. And they didn't have any corn. So we went a little bonkers with cupcakes and macarons. And it was worth every penny.
Other things I got yesterday. This is a leftover scone from the shower on a lovely little plate. It's actually a saucer for a teacup, but it's a lovely little plate that was a belated birthday present from my brother.
That works. Well, your brother would have been in university when our birthdays rolled around?
Yep. and then it just
Yeah.
never worked out to get my present to me. So I have a scone on a pretty little plate. I have a
Yes,
scone.
you have a scone.
A
Fancy
scone.
pants. Fancy
Scone.
pants.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. On the bright side, it's been cool enough that I've wanted to drink tea.
It has been a little bit
Hasn't
cool the
it?
last few days.
It's been beautiful. Shall we discuss things that we currently can wear because it's not 25 plus degrees Celsius right now?
Yes, I brought them in here to show off.
Your phone, your computer's beeping.
My computer's beeping.
Well, I heard a ding in my ear.
Your
And my
computer's beeping.
tablet-
Mine's not beeping.
My
You're
tablet-
beeping.
I'm beeping.
You're
my
beeping.
tablet wasn't telling me something was updating, but it's possible it is. And it just felt the need to remind me
So
every
in
once in a while.
things I've been wearing this past week, it was
Yeah.
cold enough to pull out the hats. So this is my my sock head
It's not
slouch.
cold enough to pull out the hats.
Yeah, these are very light hats. And I also get cold easily. So this is my sock head slouch out of some self-striping sock yarn, of which I have a matching pair of socks, of which I used more of the same yarn because I had another ball to make my January socks, which you now possess.
Yes, I do. Which are in the pile to get cleaned because I've been wearing them for a bit, so they need a washing.
And then this one is my Lindsay slouch, which is a crocheted item. Technically you can untie this knot at the top here and it can become a cowl, but I have never once worn it that way because it makes such a lovely stylish hat.
Yeah, I know you keep telling me it's a cowl. It's a really nice hat.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd wear it if it was a cowl. I might
no,
actually wear it if it was a hat.
I just can't see it being a cowl.
No,
I don't really do cowls, so.
that's fair.
And then the Bloomsbury mitts, but those are back living at work because it's cold inside and the AC's still on. So guess what? My hands are cold.
That's fair. No point in turning the air conditioning off because it's not like this cool will last forever.
No, we should be back up in a day or two.
Yes, I'm hoping we don't have rain on Thursday because the house is getting a new air conditioning unit. So that'll make working miserable or too hot. I'm hoping it kind of sits in that 20 to 26 range for the next couple of days. So, nobody dies. Well, they're giving the house air conditioning. You don't want to know how much that costs.
No, I don't want to know how much. It's going to be...
cry.
Yeah, I would.
It is roughly 2 people to and from Europe, first class.
All right, there goes poof all the dreams I ever had, maybe possibly, of owning a house.
Oh, you can do it, but it's building in a buffer and knowing that the expenses are coming and saving for them and stuff. So there's just some things that are on the list you just can't just go and fix.
I'd rather go to Europe.
We've known for years that the AC's been going, so we repaired it and then we started saving to replace it for the next time it broke down. So it's just the end of the life of the air conditioning unit. It happens. It comes along with owning a house, my dear, and being an adult.
That's what I have to say to that. Make a face at you.
Well, you're getting married, so technically you'll be an old married lady, so I don't know what to tell you.
I am not old, madam. I will have you know.
On your hand, like almost all the other ladies that were there on Sunday.
I'm about it. Doesn't make me old.
School. You get married, you start talking about houses and babies. That's what happens. It is a natural progression of life, my dear. My quadruped's underneath my knees.
House maybe.
She's
kids. House is way more likely than kids at this point.
Yeah?
The house sounds less expensive.
And actual technical truth, the house is probably less expensive than kids, yes.
It's terrifying.
One generally doesn't go, I don't want children because they're expensive. Like, it's not really a
True.
consideration. Crazy lady.
Anyway, we've gotten off track. What cool threads have you been wearing this week?
For my testing today, I took my cocoon granny square cardigan that I had crocheted out of Bernat Aran tweed out to the doctor's office. So it was fun. And I've been, I tried to wear my Tracy shawl on Sunday and it made it halfway to Stonewall and then I left it in the car because it got too hot for me.
Good attempt.
I tried. Not super good with knitwear in the summertime. But that's it. Around the house, I generally just wear the socks every once in a while, which they're socks. I live in a basement, so the floor stays quite cool. So socks is something you can totally wear in the summer,
Yep.
but
Or if you're
not the
me and you
rest of
just
the
have
clothes.
cold limbs at all times.
I do not have a cold limb problem.
Cold
So
limbs, cold
that was it
nose.
for me for wearing. But that means I've actually worn my spring garment knit along for the cow. I've actually worn it outside and done something with it. So I
Ooh.
need to take some photos and post it up into Instagram to get entered into that knit along that I made it for. That it's being held by the On the Lamb podcast. Two sisters out in, as they say, southernish Ontario.
Southern-ish.
Ish. Yep. Yeah. Which makes sense because if you're not in like the super duper southern end of Ontario, but you're not like in northern Ontario, that either puts you like it puts you like the middle, so you're like southern-ish. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, right.
Sort of gives you a rough geographical area to work on, because Ontario is really the biggest in the middle.
There's a lot of
Because that
middle.
there's a lot of middle to Ontario, because it's got that long trailing tip down into the lakes
Hmm.
before it finishes off. If I remember my grade 6 geography correctly,
And I
God,
probably
I'm in
don't.
my I'm in my mid-30s. My grade 6 geography was a really long time ago.
I mean, I have the internet here. I could just Google it, but I'm not going to.
That's lazy. Dude, you should roughly know the geography of your own country.
I do roughly know it. If I needed to know it more exactly, I'd have to look it up. It's not like I
Well, that's
live in
fair.
Ontario. I've been there a grand total of, what, 4 times, and most of those were going through the airport in Toronto?
That's
Or
totally
sorry,
fair.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Gotta say it the
Yeah.
Canadian way. Toronto.
Tirana.
Toronto.
Why? You spell fiber the American way. I'm sure we'll forgive
I
you.
fixed that. Except in my username, but whatever.
All right, but yeah, that's it for me for cool threads. Not a bunch, and I mean, if it stays cool tomorrow, I'll obviously be wearing one when we see each other. But it is what it is until summer's over and I start putting on knits for the fall again.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that means we are into what we are working on.
I only have two things I'm currently working on, so I don't know. I think we're sitting at the same number of projects right now.
I have 2 things that I worked on, and I have a half-finished object.
Ooh, well, why don't you start with the half-finished object?
Okay. My half-finished object, as you may predict, is the... Okay, too many strings. It is the sock that I was cutting the heel for on the last
Yes.
podcast. So
Yep.
I got the heel in, and
Woohoo!
I haven't woven in any ends yet, as you can see by this tentacled thing going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the sock is done. Done.
Good.
I didn't
I still have to
realize
wash and block last month.
that when you finish off the heel, and this makes complete sense the instant I had to think about it, but you have to graft the heel closed. I hate grafting.
Have you ever grafted before?
Yeah, that's why I do toe-up socks, specifically so I don't have to graft.
That's fair. But now you know.
So, it's only 10 or
Tiny
20
thing.
stitches, I guess, but yeah, so it's like
That's
10
that's
on each nail.
nothing.
So it is basically nothing. Even severely disliking doing it, it still only took me like 5 minutes, and I had to look up how to do it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
I just, it's okay.
I've had to do miles of ribbing recently, which I've had to do with the Zadie sweater that is currently sitting and languishing. I'm sure you can handle 20 stitches of grafting since that was
Yeah.
4 inches of ribbing per arm cuff.
Yeah. But I do like how the Afterthought heel does this
High toe
cute
drop?
little stripey thing. It
Yes, it
stripes
does.
nicely with the rest of the thing. I'm not sure what I'm gonna feel about the these ridgy bits on the side
Okay.
of the heel here, but I mean it's
Yeah.
the same thing that happens on the wedge toe, and that doesn't bother me. I think my
It should be
actual
okay.
biggest concern is I have a very rough ending of my grafting, and it kind of made a bit of a bump here that you can't.
I won't be able to see, yeah, but everybody else might be able to.
You can feel it more than see it, so
Okay.
yeah. So
I mean,
that might bug me, but
you'll have to put them on and wear them and see. So
yeah. But there, a half-finished object
all right.
out of
Only a pair of
online
socks
Super
and
Socky 4-Fatch. Oh,
a
Phaedra's in the corner.
Yes, she is. It is after 8:40. It's nap on the couch time.
Ah.
Or as I like to call it, pass out like we've been consuming too much adult beverage time, because she almost always eventually ends up sleeping belly up with her legs out. So like, she's super comfortable and feels really safe, and that's a great thing to know, that your cat feels that safe in her space, right? But
Mhm.
yeah, she totally looks like she came in, walked in, face planted on the couch, and fell asleep because she'd been out partying too much the night before. So like,
I like your cat.
which
Oh.
is hilarious because she went outside for all told of 60 seconds Sunday morning before I came out to your wedding shower, and I got angry, upset cat yowl. So she prefers her outside with a screen between her and the outside right now.
She's very much an indoor kitty.
Oh yeah. So we'll keep working at it so she can enjoy the outdoors. Bandit was the same way. So
Oh, I should probably say about the yarn and for the sock.
yeah.
Online Super Socky 4 Fetch.
Ugh.
Online Super Sock yarn, 4-ply, in the forest color line of colors. It is 1908.
Trust me, guys. I bought her different sock yarn. We
Yes,
will have
that's
a
the
different
second
name.
thing I'm going to talk about.
That totally works. Okay. I am just about finished a row here. I'm knitting garter. I don't have to look at it.
Okay, do you want
Do
me to
you
talk
wanna
about my
you
other
want-
thing really quick? Because it's very quick.
Yeah, do it up.
Okay, so that yarn that you got me last week, whoops, which
Yeah,
I seem to have just forgotten is attached. I caked it up before I left,
you did.
and
You made very pretty cakes.
it did make very pretty cakes. So I will hold that up, and if I can find the other one in this bag. So
Oh,
there's the teal color that was, oh gosh, I don't remember. The ball band's in here somewhere.
is the stuff showing up center on screen on your end? Because you're definitely off screen for most of, not your head, when you hold up knitting.
Sorry. I can
So
say
if
I'm
you're
just kind of like
centered,
holding it up, and yeah, I'm trying to.
yeah, if
Okay.
you're centered on your screen, you've got the capture recorder going, then you're good to go. But you're definitely not
Oh yeah,
centered
because
when
for
for me.
whatever reason, so technical things that are probably not interesting, but I have actually two webcams up here because apparently the screen recorder can't also take from the same camera that Google Hangouts does. So I have two webcams, and so poor Jocelyn gets to look at the one that's off kilter.
Which
So
is fine, because I mean, I see this stuff in person a lot, so like I know what it looks like. So it's not like I'm gonna die or anything. But I'm always like, okay, are we centered on the one that like people actually see? Because that's the important one.
yeah.
If the blind lady doesn't see your stitch definition, she's not gonna die because she doesn't see it anyway. So
Okay, so this is the teal color for it's the contrast color for the toes, cuffs, and heels, and it is
yeah,
called Curtain Call, and it is 25 grams of 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon.
mm-hmm.
Stuff that
I'm
back
gonna
in there.
remember.
And this,
Slide everybody closer so I can sit farther back on the couch.
this is
I know these
called,
colors. Oh yeah,
this one's
that's
Cinema? Yes, this one's Cinema.
yes, cinema. Yeah.
Oh, my camera's having trouble with this guy. How
Cinema's
do I
really
white
pretty.
balance this? It's white with speckles of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So this is white, slightly off-white, with speckles of, oh no, I will keep my hand there for white balance. Speckles of the teal color down into
Sorry, was I?
a navy
I was
almost,
moving too much. My cat abandoned me.
no. Speckles of the teal down into a navy almost black kind of a blue.
Yeah. Yeah. It's from the ladies at Midnight Cravings.
Yeah. So I
And you've
super,
never
oh,
had a
there's
chance to knit
like a
with their
mustardy
yarn.
yellow in here too.
Have you seen their Instagram today? From last couple of
No.
days?
No, I have not.
Instagram doesn't update smoothly for your feed. Drives me nuts. So I don't know when they posted it, but it actually showed up on our Instagram feed today. And it's called BC Orchid. It's a set collection. I want that for Christmas. Just
Okay.
buy me that for Christmas. And
I'll,
when you open it up and see it, you will understand why my brain went, I must own this. I don't know what I'm going to do with a 5 skein set. It doesn't matter. The colors are that
I'm
freaking pretty.
sure you'll find something.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
so
that we have no doubt of.
here's my itty bitty little toe. I guess it's not a little bitty toe, it's a little bitty toe.
Well,
Done like 4
you know,
rounds.
it counts. It
So,
counts.
there's a June sock.
Started.
A June cinema sock.
Good.
I might just call them cinema socks.
No, actually, I kind of really like that.
Oh,
I'm actually
yes,
looking
and
at
of
the
course
photo right now
that's
because I really feel
all
like I need to
in
show you.
the Curse Your Sudden But Inevitable Betrayal
Inevitable Trail.
bag from Dragon Fiber Bags. Okay, are you ready to talk about a thing of yours?
I am, but I'm also ready to go.
Oh,
Check it. Check it. Jocelyn needs to own these colors, you
That's
guys.
really pretty.
Isn't it amazing?
That is really pretty.
I have no idea, but it's got to be something, and I must own. I must own.
I agree.
Yes, I am ready to talk about my work.
Okay, I'm gonna sit here and
only
munch on
2
a
projects.
scone.
I couldn't eat the scones because the lady couldn't tell me if they had corn in them or not. So
Aw.
I ate the egg and I ate the cucumber sandwiches, and we sent the ham pinwheels somewhere else because we were at a table of vegetarians.
Oh.
and Terry and Chantel tried the other dainties, but I just stuck to the cucumber sandwiches. So I assumed I couldn't eat the dainties, guys. I generally can't make dainties outwork for me very often because, again, allergies, but that's fine. I just eat my own sugar at home. But I've been continuing work on my shawl
It's so
pattern.
pretty.
It's quite large now. We're getting to the widest point.
I'm really liking the texture in the solid section.
The texture is amazing, and it's not a hard pattern texture-wise to memorize. So I've been furiously typing out the pattern to send out to the testers. So I'm almost at the point where I'm just going to send them what I've got and then continue working on it. And I mean, formatting obviously isn't super perfect or anything yet, but this is very quickly becoming a shawl.
It, in fact, already looks like a shawl.
We're almost at the widest point, so the rows are really long right now, which is totally fine. I'm doing it out of Midnight Cravings Geode, which is a sparkly gray base with some purple in there, which you can see when I was holding up the shawl. And my contrast color is a solid kind of tonally beach glass. So it looks quite pretty paired together, and it's looking really good on the shawl. So I'm very excited. And I can tell I'm getting close to being finished. Like I'm getting closer because my skeins are getting quite small. Which is always the best part, because when you're decreasing and that they keep shrinking, you're like, yes. Shrinkage.
As long as it doesn't turn into yarn chicken.
I'd be fine if it turns into yarn chicken, because it's always approximations when they tell you the yardage, because it's by weight. So, and I don't mind a decent game of yarn chicken. Not like the I'm going to shave my head and check myself into a crazy house sort of yarn chicken. But I like to have just small amounts of yarn left over. Or none if I can swing it.
Okay, so what? I have one more thing.
So do I.
Okay. I think you probably already know what my thing is. Shall I just do my thing? Yeah. Fancy that. I haven't talked about that yet, but of course I worked on it. Okay, this hat.
Well, yeah.
This giant
it's not a hat. It's past a hat. It's a hat if you're a freaking ogre. Otherwise, it's not a hat. No. We're past hat size.
Okay. So teacup bag.
Yeah.
Dragon Fiber Bags teacup bag.
Did you see that that photo that Red got that I posted on her Instagram this morning?
Yeah. It looks so pretty.
She nailed it. She did such a good job. So excited when that turned out that well.
Oh, yes, and I found the stuff you guys left in my my bag.
I left nothing in your bag. That was
okay,
all
well, the rest of Knit Club then left some mandala coloring in my bag.
Yeah, I went to a wedding shower with 2 other knitters, and I was the only one who brought my knitting. Boy.
I am slightly disappointed that Knit Club was not full of knitting, or the Knit Club table.
And they were like, "Why didn't we bring it?" And I'm like, "I don't know, guys. I didn't think to say, hey, don't forget to bring some knitting while we're at the table." And chatting.
It's not like I would be offended if you were knitting. You're the table of Knit Club.
Oh, so funny. But that's when we decided we needed to book a meetup for June. So that happened during your wedding shower.
I did. I was like, who's texting me? Everybody's here.
All three of you were in one place at the same time. I got it scheduled.
Okay, so I
Getting
finally
replies from these guys.
finally wrestled this out of my bag.
Sure.
So I've been a bad knitter this week. I moved my
Mm-hmm.
progress keeper. You can see how
Uh-huh.
it's marking one row of progress.
Oh, Diana.
I fixed my fiber flub from last week though.
Okay, that's fair, and that could have been slightly complicated because you were fixing it in lace, so that's not the easiest of
Yeah,
things
well
to do.
by fix because I was 2 stitches short. So what I did is I'm just gonna leave it for now
Mm-hmm.
because the pattern works out such that I can just leave it for now. And then next round, I'm going to see if I can work in a couple of increases so that it's correct.
Okay, that's fair.
Fingers crossed.
Good luck.
Yeah,
If it's
yeah,
not in the lace section, it'll be a lot easier to sort of hide where it
yeah.
is, and like nobody should notice. Yeah. So
Anyway, so
it shouldn't be the end of the world.
in case anybody
But yeah,
hasn't seen this before, I'll just hold up a section because it repeats between the markers. So I'll just kind of hold that up and stretch that out.
we should have a
Now
wool gathering section today.
wait, if I, there we go. Now you can kind of see. So
Gather in the wool.
it's looking like a thing. It's getting
No, it's starting.
it's getting quite
Coming
large.
together really nicely.
Wait.
And you are closing in on being done.
Ah,
You're
there
doing a
we
really
go.
good job. So I would love to see that on the blocking mats in July, ma'am.
It will be on the blocking mats by the end of July. Can I borrow some blocking mats? I don't have enough.
Yep. You also don't have enough pins.
Probably not.
No, I assumed my blocking mats and my pins were coming out to your place after
It might
Canada
be a
Day.
knit club get together where we all
Yeah,
sit there
yeah.
and block this thing out in my living room.
We're gonna have a super exciting knit club, guys. We're gonna go to Diana's house and block her shawl.
Yep. It's gonna be very exciting. I like how you haven't commented on my
Quick,
hat.
somebody come pick up my blocking mats and me from my house so I don't have to bus with like 12 blocking mats under my arm.
Oh my goodness. Bus driver like, what?
What? With my blind lady cane. Every time I'm carrying around stuff with my blind lady cane, I get the weirdest looks. Especially weird if it's books. People really don't get that one.
Apparently it's not well known that I can't really say apparently. It is not well known if you do not have a blind person in your life that blind does not equal 100% cannot see anything.
I'm absolutely astonished by how little the regular population understands about what the cane means and what it doesn't mean. So, like, I knew I was getting into you were going to have to teach. Like, when you have a visible disability, you end up teaching. Like, you end up showing and sharing with people so that they understand what's going on. Otherwise, they're very confused and afraid, if we're honest. There's that sort of honest, in your face, humans are that fragile that a lot of humans can't handle. So I make people quite nervous. I mean, probably not the best for me to make people that nervous because if I register it, I will do stuff to embarrass you because I am that mean. Like
Oh.
I don't hold quarter with that sort of stuff. So I'm like, nope. So it's, huh. But I do a lot to make, and they're called fully able people, like fully visually able people, more comfortable around me because I know it's awkward and it's hard to sort of literally see how quickly your vision can fade you, can like fall from you when otherwise you're perfectly healthy. And I mean, I end up having conversations with parents who have teenagers or parents with older children who've had accidents or who have been really sick or they've gotten diabetes and their vision's gone.
Mm.
And sometimes it's worse than mine. Mine's pretty bad. So it's and they're not expecting it because it wasn't something they were planning for. It's something I've always planned for because it's in my family. So like I knew there was a really good chance I had it. But yeah, no, I get an astonishing number of dumb questions.
It's only a dumb
It's
question if
fine.
they don't learn from it.
It's only a dumb question if they say it with a nasty tone of voice.
Oh, then it's just a mean question.
Because if they do that, I will talk very loudly. And I mean, for the most part, I modulate my voice down so I'm not talking as loud as I could be naturally on my own or as fast. and I will be very loud so you and the 12 people beside you can hear me respond to you
Oh.
because you were just unnecessarily being a douche. So I'm going to correct that and socially embarrass you because it doesn't bother me.
You had one more thing?
I do. I have my
Okay.
sock.
Sock.
It's in my Erin Lane bag.
Let's see the sock.
The sock. I wanted to finish the toe of the sock before I went to the wedding shower. So I wasn't trying to do increases at a tea house. So I worked on that Sunday morning. But guys, I got up at like 5 a.m. Sunday morning because apparently I was done sleeping really, really early. So what I have this month is some Dye for You yarn.
I love the socks on that sheep.
EWE.
They just bring me
This sheep is
joy.
so cute. The colorway is called Dreaming of Spring. I bought it before I went out to go visit my mom. So it is a white with green in several different shades, and it's quite freaking cheerful.
There's also some blue in there. It's very springy and cheerful. I love it.
There is some blue in there, yeah. Hang on, I'm going to turn my toe boxes inside out for me, for knitting, so they're the right side out to show everybody else. So we're sitting here on what, the 5th of June?
4th.
And I'm in 4th of June, and I'm into the body of my sock. So I've got my toe boxes done. I've settled on these toe boxes, which is they're square, right? It's a square box, trapezoid box.
I don't know, a wedge toe. It's the same kind that I do, I think.
Yeah, wedge ones. They're the same kind you do.
I think it's called a wedge.
Yeah.
I don't actually know. I'm just guessing.
My make ones have gotten really good. I was gonna pretty much show Diana, but
very
I don't
nice.
have the same sort of hole issues that I've been having. Because again, you guys, fingering weight on a 2.5 millimeter needle, I can't see the thread or the fabric that I'm making to make the make ones. So it's all been trial and error and by feeling for me to figure this out. So it's taken a couple pair of socks to do. It's actually taken about half a year, which is what I figured. But I'm working on the foot of the sock now. And again, 2 at a time toe up because my gosh, did it feel really good to just be done the pair of socks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was done. So I was super great. And I'm really enjoying how it's knitting up because you're just getting those wonderful bursts of greens and bluey greens and yellowy greens and white in there. It's so good. It's on my Chow Goo lace needles, which I still absolutely adore. 2 tears. And I suspect this will be my knitting in the car on the way to Carberry this weekend.
Very nice.
Because knitting in socks, you need to go for miles anyway, and I'm going to be with 2 people who can see. Terry had to rescue me because I had dropped a stitch. But I was right beside sighted knitters, so I was just like, help.
Oh, that's good. Shall I cycle back to my sock briefly for fiber flubs?
Might as well.
Okay, so part of the reason that I only have this teensy tiny little toe, let me bring that closer so you can actually see it, this teensy tiny little toe, I had to cast this stupid thing on about, I think it was 4 or 5 times before I got it right. This is not my first pair of socks.
Not by any stretch of the imagination.
I have done this cast on dozens of times. I know how this works. I had to do it 4 or 5 times before I stopped getting the tail in the wrong place, knitting with the tail when I wasn't supposed to be, dropping stitches. So I finally
questions I see people ask, and I'm always like, I don't know if anybody knows how to not occasionally knit with the tail instead of the working thread.
And so after all that,
any experienced knitter who doesn't go, yeah, no, I do that every once in a while.
After all that, I finally got all the stitches casted on, and
okay, I'm with you.
And then I'm like, okay, and I knit my 1 round to establish it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna maybe try a different style of toe. How about a star toe? Yeah, that sounds good. So I looked up how to do that, and I realized I didn't have the right divisible number of stitches cast on. And I'm like, no, I am not doing this cast on again. So this one's going to be another wedge toe because I don't want to cast it on again.
So July star toe then.
Yeah, next pair of socks, okay. Star toes, not these ones.
Got it.
4 or 5 cast-ons.
some of those moments where you're like, what am I doing with my life? Like, why can't I figure this out?
It was one of those weeks at work too. My entire team was just having one of those weeks where it's like, why did they let us graduate? Why did they give us expensive pieces of paper saying that we can program when clearly we can't?
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
So,
They
even
happen to
professionals
everybody.
have those days.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And I am
I
far
was
from
trying to.
professional in my knitting, so it's okay. I feel
It's
okay.
totally fair. It's not too bad of a fiber flood, but yeah, I could totally understand not wanting to cast on for like the sixth time. But
I
so it
would have
is.
I would have had most of a toe if I didn't have to cast it on that many times.
On the bright side, with these socks, you'll have a contrast toe, heel, and cuff, which will be different for you.
Mm-hmm. I haven't decided what kind of heel I'm doing. I, I like the
I don't
concept
know.
of doing an
I've got,
afterthought, but I hate grafting.
I've got inches of foot to knit before I get to the heel. So I was looking at your stuff while you were doing it. And I've been looking at tutorials and stuff on grafting, and I don't think I can see the yarn well enough to do that.
Mm,
So I don't think it's in the realm of physically possible for me. So I might end up sticking with toe up just because it means I don't have to try to do that.
yeah.
And I mean, I'm willing to try knitting in lace yarn because you can do a lot of that by touch, right? But the grafting, you have to be able to pick up the right stitches in the right spots. Guys, I can barely do a make one correctly. I'm not sure grafting's going to go so well.
I don't know. The fourth of never.
It's hard, especially with the wedding coming up. You're quite busy, so
Yeah, well, and
I
finances.
didn't think you'd be finding anything till after the wedding. So
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if it
so
ever comes down to it, I can like rent a car. I am capable of doing this adult thing of renting a car.
it's true. You can. You are old enough now. Yeah,
I
because
mean,
you have to be 25 to rent a car on your own.
I think you can be younger, but you have to have somebody 25 or older like co-sign.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I think there's
So
like
then I was right
extra
for you,
insurance if you're under 25.
which makes sense.
Because I've definitely driven a rental car when I was under 25, but there was
Oh yeah, I
somebody
mean,
older signing for me.
yeah, I've had to too, but I remember that yeah, 25 was a year thing
And I
for
also
extra
that was
paperwork and
also in
stuff.
Quebec, so I don't know if it's different here.
No, because I've only ever rented cars in Manitoba.
Okay, there you go.
I used to drive. I swear, it was a while ago, but I have done it.
I believe you.
Okay, so trust me, if I still could, a lot of planning stuff would be much easier for me.
Hmm.
All right, your yarn on the go and my yarn on the go, I suspect, are the same place.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I wasn't out very much this week because I was home working. So my only yarn on the go was that tea house in Stonewall that we went to for your wedding shower,
Yeah, I'm a cloud house in
and I worked on my
Stonewall
sock.
that she'll begin
Okay,
execution when we're done podcasting.
that works. I have no idea what I'm gonna do yet, but I'll feed myself before I come down, I suspect.
Okay, I think we're making experimental pasta sauce.
Sure, but we have to start at 6:15. We
Yeah,
cannot start later.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of those because I don't know if Mr. B has Wednesday off or not this week. But I do know that I like to go to bed at a
As do
decent
I.
hour, especially because you guys have got work the next morning.
Yeah.
So that makes total sense. And poor Jackie's skyping in, so
She's behind us in hours though, so it's fine.
she's still a university student. She might be tired.
Bah!
Feeding, filling your brain full of stuff is an exhausting process. You should
That's what
remember
they
this.
invented coffee for.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they invented coffee for.
Pshaw. Pshaw, I say.
All right. So that's for Yarn on the Go. That's pretty much it for us, hey?
Yes. And
Because
then
there
you
was
said
no commenting or anything. Yeah, no, it wasn't a
oh,
long weekend, so no cabins.
nope.
My exciting trip to Carberry is this coming Saturday, so
Yep. Yep. There will be some yarn on the go this week, maybe. I don't know. Next weekend, maybe.
yeah, this coming weekend for me for sure. The weekend after that for sure. I'm a busy cookie.
A busy cookie.
Uh-huh.
Okay then. So you said you had some sewing this week.
I did. Somebody had to put together your dress this week
I do
for the
appreciate
Regency
that.
ball next week.
I do appreciate
If I
having a
remember,
dress.
if I remember to bring it with me tomorrow, I will. If my bag's too full, I won't, because I
That's
still have to
totally
do the
fair.
hemming for it. Um, because I know I'll be seeing you on Sunday for recording. So, and since all that's left is the hem at the bottom, I can put it on you on Sunday,
Yep.
do the hem, and then sew the hem and drop it off to you during the following week. So, like, I'm not worried about it. The dress is done. It fits my dress form, which I put at your measurements.
Excellent.
So
I have
we
a dress.
should be well fitted, and your dress should be done. So I might have to make some minor alterations and some darts and stuff. But again, a dart here or a dart there is not a super time consuming process, and I can pin that up and get it done. So the bulk of you is finished.
Yay!
Your dress has been unassembled, reassembled, and now it's ready to put on you for some final fitting, for a quick fitting, and then we're done. So that was what I did for sewing this week. And now I've got stacks of bags to work on during the rest of the week. So
Excellent.
I had to clean the laundry room and the stairs and everything because on Thursday I've got a work crew coming in to replace air conditioning units and stuff. So they're going to be in and out of the heating room. So
Ooh, fun. I'm
I
sure
was
it'll be
tidying up
nice
the
and
space.
quiet all day.
Oh, I'm so stoked. They're starting at 8 a.m.
I'm sure your cat will love that too.
Oh, I'm sure she'll be stoked. She'll be hiding in her windows, so she'll be fine. But I get up at 6, so it's like, they were like, can we start at 8? I'm like, yeah. They're like, that's not too early. I'm like, no. My housemates might disagree with me, but I think it's a perfect time to start construction work. Guys, there's a massive amount of construction going on the bridge right out in front of my house.
Oh, yeah. That's a
It starts
huge mess.
It starts at 7:15, and they're fixing roads and I think expanding it. So like,
Ugh.
there's a lot of heavy pile driver sounds and concrete sounds and bobcats driving and things being dug up. So it's like, it's noisy as of 8 a.m. anyway. So
well, no sleeping in for you.
I don't really sleep in. I take naps.
Naps are great.
Only when I'm tired. Apparently, I was very tired today. So do I know. But yeah, no, that was it for me for Yarn on the Go, or for my sewing. Not much, but I did get the dress finished, so
Cool.
that's not too shabby. I've got a new pattern for a new cardigan that I
Mm,
want to try to make.
cool.
Kind of excited about. So I'm gonna see if I can try to get that done this week too.
All right.
Why not?
So then, do we have any wool gathering?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. I believe we are on to wool gathering then.
we may be participating in a knit along, to which the dates have not been set, and we're still figuring out because there's a bunch of other podcasters. And I was watching all three of them talk about this and went, I have that pattern. Diana wants to make that pattern. We're both intrigued. So I sent a message off and said, hey.
Mostly I
You wanna
remember
go
the
to a
name of that
podcast?
pattern, so I'm actually going to look it up right now because I can't remember exactly which one it is.
It is the Exploration Station by Stephen West.
Clickety, clickety, clickety. Okay.
Clickety clickety.
I can't
It is
remember
an
which exact one it
incredibly
was.
beautiful pattern.
Oh,
So
right.
pretty.
This one. Yes.
So pretty.
Yes.
And I'm like, with a summer start date.
Yeah.
So we might very quickly in short order host another knit along. So right
so
now
many
it's
color
in talks
ideas.
on the start date and end date, but we're looking at like maybe July the 1st through September.
Okay.
Which gives everybody
really
3
got to
months.
get that wedding shawl done.
Which gives everybody roughly 3 months if we start it then, which makes sense because Stephen West, he does not do a tiny shawl.
No, none of these are tiny.
And that's okay because he does some freaking gorgeous shawls.
Oh,
and
yes.
It's on my list to make this year, so like I already knew I was making it.
Oh, okay.
So it just gives me an excuse to buy the yarn earlier rather than putting that off till Knit City and then looking for different yarn at Knit City. So I'm okay with this. So
I'll do some
if we get
stash
it all
diving and
worked out,
rustling after.
yeah, if it all works out, we will join the Cozy Up with the Stitchin' Sisters, the Feathering Stitches. These are all YouTube podcasters who are all knitting podcasters. They're all freaking epic and delightful. And A Tale of Two Knitters. So they're the ones who are sort of making the arrangements and plans, and I'm kind of like, hey, us too, let's join. Because it's a knit along, and it's something I actually really, really super want to knit, not like, oh, hey, that's pretty. Which is 9 times out of 10 how knit alongs happen. I'm looking at stuff and I go, oh, hey, that's pretty. This is an actual planned knit project for me this year. It's just gonna
Oh my
happen a bit sooner than
goodness.
expected. So I'm like, done. So hopefully we can get that all ironed out. But that gives me a thing to shop for while I'm at a Carberry next weekend. So pumped. And if all four of us are running knit alongs, that means somebody could enter one shawl 4 times.
Also true.
Also true. So
Hmm.
this is a thing, you guys. I mean, you and I would only be able to do it 3 times because obviously we wouldn't be able to for our own, but we could for
Aww.
everybody else's. No, not entering to win our own prizing.
Boo.
But also it gives me an excuse to go looking to pick up more stuff for prizing and giveaway and stuff, which I'm always super pumped to do because it's always quite a delight. So I figured I'd throw that into Wool Gathering to see what everybody thought and sort of toss it out there. And the other big one being that we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a Patreon.
Yes.
So we can start putting some money towards better equipment for the podcast.
Yes.
So if you can help, once I've got it all set up and going, we'll have some perks and stuff lined up in there. Me and Diane are still sort of working out the details, but to get it to the point where we can, you can hear us better, so we get better microphones, you can see us better video equipment and stuff. They're just things to help the podcast be of a higher quality for everybody.
Also cover some of them hosting fees.
Yeah, the hosting fees aren't cheap. YouTube helps a lot, but we need to take a look at our current hosting site for our when we were just audio and go from there. And it also will go in towards funding for prizing and stuff, so we can do more giveaways and more knit-alongs and other
Because
events.
shipping
and stuff,
isn't
so.
cheap either.
Yeah, I was just looking up the shipping for New York versus Amsterdam, and I'm paying roughly the same price.
Yeah. That's okay. Shipping makes no sense.
Heavens.
My fiance
Heavens.
ordered a watch from Britain and it showed up, I think, 36 hours later. He ordered a book. Yeah, he ordered a book from Ontario 2 weeks ago. It's not here yet.
Guys,
it won't be here till next week.
What?
Yeah, Ontario, the next province over. But you can order a watch from Britain and it'll be here in 36 hours.
We're 2 hours from the Ontario border.
I
Where's
know.
the book?
I don't know. I think they're walking
legit,
it here.
If you were driving and, stopping every 6 hours, it could take like a week to get across Ontario. If you stop at every single tourist attraction you can find. And you can find a lot of them. But we're 2 to 2.5 hours from Kenora. That's in Ontario.
Yeah.
What?
So I don't know how it takes 3 weeks to ship a children's book from Ontario, but yeah.
What? That's insane. Okay.
Shipping makes no sense.
Canada.
Is the point of this.
Oh, Canada, how I love thee. You are delightfully a confusing hot mess. And free trade agreement, my butt. All right. So complications of that aside.
Excuse me.
That was pretty much it for me for Wool Gathering. It's just sort of let everybody know that we're going to do that so we can sort of up the quality of the stuff in the content that we put out. So it would let me do things like get a proper digital camera.
Because you're currently on a tablet.
I'm currently on a tablet. But it means we could do better Instagram photos. I can do longer video vlogs, and I can record more stuff for content wise, because I will have the space to do so. Because right now my video space has to share space with my books, and guys, I read for a living. Like there's a lot of current reading arcs and stuff going on my tablet because it is a bit of a work creature for me. So, but doing things like that will help us and will help you guys. So I don't have a problem making extra content. And I think the first thing we'll do is I'll have to set up price ranges and stuff like that. So once it goes live, we'll do a bunch of posts on Instagram and stuff. So, but I mean, we're closing in on 100 subscribers on YouTube. That's crazy talk.
Madness.
So we're gonna have to start talking about giveaways and stuff when we reach mile markers.
Oh, goodness! So
many
things.
Reach
so
mile
many
markers.
things.
Well,
microphone in the way. So many
things. Well, I think the first one we should do is when we hit like 500 subscribers on YouTube, we should definitely do a giveaway.
Yes.
And I can do that straight out of the subscriber list right on YouTube itself. So it's like super easy to do. So like, but we got to start planning what we'd like to give away, what we want to sort of do for that sort of thing. So got to get that under our belts, get some stuff done. I wanted more work. Let's do that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
No time. But yeah, that was it for me, Wool Gathering. I just wanted to sort of mention those things as stuff we can totally do with some help. And I don't have a problem saying, hey, this is actually a hobby for us. Help would be super. Do you know how much money I spend on makeup a year? It's obscene. Obscene. All right. That's it for Wool Gathering. What's next? That and Stephen West Knit Along. We got to do it.
So we've sort of segued into it already with events. Events is next.
It is. We have our year-long Year of the Sock going on right now, where if you knit a pair of socks every month, I mean, we're super generous. I don't think we've closed a thread since January.
We have not closed any of the threads yet, and in fact, we had 2 new posts in the May thread that I just saw today, right before we started. So
it still
keep them coming. If you knitted in that month, honor system.
Honor system, and you know what? If you don't get the photos up right away, whatever. You know what? Life happens.
I don't think I put
bad for it.
I don't think I put any of my socks in any of the threads.
Neither have I. So
We're terrible at participating in our own knit along.
Super professional podcasters,
yeah!
Are we not? Are we not? So we got a June thread up now, right?
Yes, June thread went up on the weekend.
Okay. This is why we don't leave these things with me. So for every pair of adult finished completed socks that you've done in the month, post a link to the project page on Ravelry in our Ravelry group, which is the Northern Knits podcast group, and join the group. Like, yeah, I mean, jump in on conversations and stuff. Do it up. And we're going to count each of those entries at the end of the year for a couple of big prizes. I don't know what they're going to all entail for prizing yet because we're not into October. And I'm honestly not going to worry about rounding up the prizes till I get to October.
Fair.
So it's going to be piecemeal, and as I see things, I'm going to grab them and throw them in the bucket and stuff. But I'll start sorting out prizes for that. And there'll definitely be more than one prize because it's a year-long knit-along. So that's a thing, you guys. But yeah, the point of the whole thing was for me to learn socks this year and for Diana to try new socks out.
I have tried new things.
So, can I go back? New things?
Can I go back to my wedge toe up with
no.
the? Oh, darn! I have to learn some more.
Yep. My goal was always to like towards the end of the year, so like in the last quarter of the year, to be doing like color work socks. So I'm definitely making my way there. I'm right on schedule because I had to learn how to knit socks. So I had to decide if I like to toe up or cuff down, 2 at a time, 1 at a time, what kind of heels and toes I liked for like a basic go-to vanilla sock recipe. And I think I've got that ironed out now.
Excellent.
Which is good. It means I can now move on and start trying other things. So, I mean, we're going to start with staples like Hermione's Everyday Sock and, insert more vanilla is the new black sock. Ones you see and hear about podcasters talk about all the time because they're really nice, good patterns to sort of make your way into pattern socks.
Maybe I can do vanilla's the new black for my heel on this sock. Okay, I'll look at that after.
Yeah, so those are the next step now that I think I've ironed out a recipe for socks that fit, that look good, that I like, and that work. So I know I always have something to go to if I find like a great striping yarn. Well, I've got a vanilla sock recipe. I'm good to go. And then I can start taking a look at other things. So I'm super excited. And yeah, I figured about July, and I'm right on track to next month start doing pattern socks. So yay. Jocelyn's learning, guys.
Learning.
Hey, last year I learned to crochet. I make my own crochet garments now, so
yay,
not
learning.
Too shabby at this. I do love it, so I'm always in school all the time. But it is an Instagram hashtag of #Year of the Sock with a question mark on the end. And to have the projects count, they need to be posted in the Ravelry group threads under each of their months.
Yes.
There's a spreadsheet, you guys, of doom.
Of doom. Not of prizes.
I haven't put. I've only got up to April spreadsheeted out. So if you were finishing up your May socks, you still have time. I usually do it a month after. So that way, if people are running late, it's not the end of the world. But I've got names for every entry people have gotten for the month, and because it's spreadsheeted, I can print the spreadsheet when we're done, cut out all the names, and literally draw them.
You can also
Easily
random number.
drawn names.
You can save a tree in a random number generator and pick a row.
Sure, I could, except I won't.
Because it's way more fun to draw physical bits of paper.
Yes. I save plenty of trees. I do not print patterns. My patterns are on my phone or my tablet so that I can see the print. Otherwise, the font's too small.
Fair.
So as a knitter, I save a butt ton of trees. I also don't do show notes. I just type them for you in a Google Doc when we're done recording. So I literally wing it every episode. I have no notes.
I'm winging it right now. But my
So,
show notes go in the
this is not a
journal that I'm
problem.
using anyway, so. Would have used that paper anyway.
I use a paper and pen daytimer, but I'm starting a business. I currently run two. I'm in school. And I have a life. I actually requested a daytimer because I'm at my maximum capacity for memorizing things. I can't fit any more in my head. All right, what else are we doing? I have another year-long one that I kind of intersperse every now and again. It's called All in the Family. It's hosted by the Cozy Up with the Stitch and Sisters, or Cozy Up Designs if you look them up on Ravelry. There are 4 sisters in Alberta, and they have a named shawl for each of the sisters. So, currently out and available is the Jamie shawl, the Katie shawl, and the Chrissy shawl, of which I have done the Jamie and the Katie. And the Katie's blocked, so I just need to weave in ends, and I can take photos of that too. And I have yet to do the Chrissy shawl. So it's on my list of patterns to keep eye out for yarn. And then we have Sarah left. So by the end of my year, I will have 4 sister shawls done. They are great designers. I think I own a chunk of their patterns at this point, and I enjoy knitting them all the time. So you will hear more about it. Otherwise, right now, the only thing I've got going on at the moment is Stash Dash, because I am done the My Sister Cal for the On the Lamb podcast, which was a spring garment this time around. People still have time, like it goes to the 15th of June, but I'm done, so
Nice.
I'm a moving on, as they say. But there's definitely a bunch of knit-alongs floating around that are sort of, my eyeballs go, maybe I'll jump in on that last minute, because I'm known for doing that.
And just kind of peer in and vicariously participate via Instagram and go, okay, back to the wedding shawl.
That's why I'm saying let's get that done for July, and then we can do like that Stephen West one together. And I think that'll be great fun.
I'm gonna try real hard.
So Stash Dash, which is hosted by the Knit Girls, runs from the 25th of May to the 27th of August this year, and
so that means my sock counts. My sock counts for Stash Dash.
It totally does.
Woo.
It's a big worldwide thing. I mean, these ladies are super lovely to host and do as much work as they do. They've got all the rules and stuff. They actually make a separate post every year to go over the rules for how to count your meterage and what counts and what doesn't count for your projects and stuff. So you have to essentially pick a finishing line in kilometers, 1K, 5K, 7K, 15K, if you're like me and crazy. And you knit through your stash. Now, stash counts the moment it's in your hot little hands and paid for. So the yarn I'm buying on Saturday counts as stash the moment it comes home. So like it's anything, whether it currently exists or will soon shortly exist within your hot little hands. But I do have a bunch of projects lined up. I use Stash Dash every year to get through a bunch of stuff that I've always started because I love knitting, but I don't necessarily worry about deadlines and finishing things. Because if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's not the end of the world for me. I decided 15K because I've got all those granny squares to crochet borders for and crochet into afghans and blankets and stuff, which is going to start shortly because I figured out which yarn I want to use for that. Excellent. So I got to go pick up some balls of that and start making me some blankets and stuff for people. Or hot pants. I've threatened the girls at Knit Club with hot pants. I might do that, crocheted hot pants.
I will say that I am okay without hot pants, but I really think you should make at least one pair of hot pants.
Oh God, I really just, even if they never get used, I just kind of really want to make a pair of hot pants.
Oh, you know, Red would put on the hot pants and dance around.
Oh, she totally would. She's so good. This is why we're good friends, because we don't really care about embarrassing ourselves. So I've got a big old tub of knitting sitting in the middle of my living room, driving me nuts because I hate having stuff in the middle of my floor. projects that are 3/4 done, half done, a third done, then I'm like, nope, that's it. I need to get it finished. And because I don't do small shawls,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be hard to hit 15K.
True.
Because if we're honest, guys, by the time I'm done my pattern, which should be sometime in the next week, there's 750 kilometers right there. 800
700.
kilometers.
You mean meters?
Meters, sorry. Meters there.
That'd be a really big shawl. I made a
So
blanket and that was only 3 kilometers.
yeah, it's like, what? So it won't be hard for me to rack up the meterage. I've got a Zadie sweater. I've got a couple of other sweaters I've got planned, and none of those are small. And I mean, I'm not a spinner, so it's not going to accumulate super quickly for me. But the blanket squares and the projects that I've got a mammoth shawl to finish. Like I've got a lot of stuff on the go.
I'm gonna finish
I have
that
to
shawl.
finish
I'm gonna finish that wedding shawl, and that's gonna
yeah.
be not quite
That's a
1,500
lot.
meters. I might round
That's
up
a
and
lot.
I might call it 1,500 just for easier math. Also, I'm not officially entering anything.
Oh, I'm gonna enter. There's no prizing. It's just a competition against yourself. And I mean, every pair of socks I do count this summer. Done. Super cool. Super stoked. If I actually manage to get any spinning done, that counts too. So.
I don't really know where I put my spinning wheel. It's around somewhere. It's under there? I don't know. I'll find it one day.
I think I've used your spinning wheel more than you have.
Possibly.
Possibly. In the fall, we've got a couple events we're going to go to. In September, we're going to go to the Manitoba Fiber Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of September, October, we're going to Knit City, folks.
I believe that's the end of September, beginning of October.
It is literally the last week of September into October. Yeah. Because it's just before Canadian Thanksgiving, which is the first full weekend in October.
I'm pretty pumped. It's going to be the most time I've ever spent in Vancouver that is not in the airport.
Man, you need to do more national travel, not international travel.
Well, it's so expensive
to do more.
I know I should, but it's like I can go to Vancouver for like $400, or for $600 I could go to London, England. One way.
Yeah. And it's actually going to be cheaper for you this time around because Dad's picking up the airplane flights.
Yeah, so that helps. That definitely helps.
Go, Daddy.
Yeah.
Well, he was talking to me about numbers, and he's like, "But you guys would have more money for yarn if I did that." I'm like, "Well, yes." I'm not going to say no, I wouldn't, because that would be a lie. He's like, "Okay, we'll talk to Diana. If she's okay with this deal, do it that way and have more money for yarn." Oh, well, that's a hardship.
Such hardship. More money for yarn. Oh, I don't know if I can handle that.
He's a very good enabler. So
must knit
if you
faster.
see us in Knit City, if you see us in Knit City, I know everybody says stop us, talk to us. I legit mean stop me and talk to me, because I will not see you if you wave at me.
Like, really?
I actually won't see you. Please come invade my personal space, you guys. You kind of have to. I'm easy to find. I'm the 5'10" tall lady with blind lady cane. I'm not a hard person to spot. It's the cane. It's a dead giveaway every time. But
I'll try to wear a distinctive hat. Probably it'll be like my red fedora.
Red fedora, yeah, something. But I mean, absolutely, if you see us, stop us, because I'm going to be doing it too. I'm going to be like, oh my god! I commented on the Cozy Up Sisters on their YouTube. I was like, well, if you guys are at Knit City, I will wear the name tag with my Instagram account on it, my personal one, and the Northern Knits thing. No problem. And they're like, oh no, we'll recognize you. I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I'll choose to take it as one.
Oh man, I've really got to consume more YouTube podcasts so that I'll recognize people, because I'm bad at recognizing people at the best of times.
Oh, I'm going to be like, oh, gang over here. I'm going to just be overly caffeinated, underslept.
Yep, me
and
too.
With too much sugar and not enough vegetables. It's going to be great.
Perfect.
I'm going to fly home on Monday and I'm going to sleep all day Tuesday. Is how that's going to work.
Perfect. Love it.
And then get crazy busy, because then we'll be like at a month out from the con I volunteer at. So my life will get very, very, very busy at that point. Mm-hmm. But I think that's for us right now. That's it. I mean, there's other things that'll happen at the end of fall and stuff. And as stuff pops up, I'll certainly add it into the events. But as far as I know, that's all we've got going on.
I do believe that is everything. Oh, sorry, I'm
Sweet
not used to
beans.
sitting still this long. Darn
That's okay.
standing desk killed sitting for me.
Yeah, I hate sitting and I do it a lot. It's frustrating. Shall we do our review?
Oh goodness, I completely forgot about that. Okay, let me just pull that up on Ravelry so that I can see the pictures too.
I don't know, you guys. Diana received her Interweave Knits Summer with the 16 Southwest knits for all seasons. You guys, it's a lot of color work. We know how I feel about color work.
I can't spell summer. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Found the right one. I can see the pictures now.
You'd be amazed at what I can't see.
Oh.
So you can always pull up, as Diana's just done, the stuff on Ravelry so you can take a look at the photos. Because it's a new magazine, you definitely have time to pull it up and take a look. I'm not going to show too many of the photos because they're photos, and because I have the physical copy of the book, I can't read the names.
Okay. Well, I've
So
got
this is gonna
names
be
here, so.
really interesting. They won't be in order on Ravelry. I've discovered that.
No, they won't.
So, no. So, I mean, they've
They're-
definitely got some interesting sections. And it's a magazine. Like, they do good photography and stuff. But we got the Trading Post Trail section, which are definitely themed for that sort of New Mexico, Navajo kind of style stuff. So,
I thought there was a very interesting article in I think it was the editor's note at the very beginning, was about how there's a very fine line between cultural appreciation and appropriation. And so it was very much, I really hope that we stayed on the side of appreciation. And I think so. I don't know. I don't feel like I have enough cultural knowledge to say whether they did or not, but I like the designs. It doesn't seem like appropriation to me, says the middle-class white lady in the middle of Canada.
Well, I mean, and I have Indigenous First Nations in my background. I am Métis, and I struggle with the concept of what the difference is, because I'll see some stuff and people will call it misappropriation, and I don't see it that way. I'm always just excited that people want to express themselves, and if it happens to have a lot of flavors or influence that come from my heritage, I'm just as excited for them because it's something that they love and that they enjoy, and that in my mind is the ultimate point. Because if we go too far with that, then like people in Ireland should get mad when people over here are using Celtic knotwork design because we're not technically Irish.
I think some people do get kind of upset over that, but
yeah, and my brain's
pretty
like,
knotwork designs.
It's pretty, and you've made this fabric, or you've sewn this article, or you've put this work behind this artwork, and you enjoy it. And you're doing it unironically because you're not, being super hoopster about it. I don't see a problem with it. Like if you're doing it to be mean and disrespectful and hurtful, well, like go to Reddit. That's where you belong. We don't need to see you on the general internet. You have your internet corners. Go there.
I think that more so 4chan even. But
4chan.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of good people on Reddit. There's a lot of not good people on Reddit, but there's also a lot of good people on Reddit. Yeah. I'm not sure there's any good people on 4chan.
And that's fine, but I find it hard to draw the line, and I hate doing it because I'm like, you know what? I don't know why you chose this. I don't know your background for it. I don't know your background. I don't know you from a hole in the wall. Like I don't know, so I couldn't say. So I think they did fine. I think they're all quite tasteful, and I think they're all very pretty, and they all fit the theme. So here's one of the sweaters. I'm going to hold up the ones with the full pages.
Okay, and I'm going to find it and tell you that is the Tucson pullover.
There you go. It's a color work sweater, obviously. It's got a band right at the top or where the yoke is, and then it's got another band of color work right around the boobage area.
The boobage
with
area.
matching bands on the sleeves, because remember, we actually do an audio podcast. Some people can't see what we're doing. So I'm reminded of time from time to time. I'm like, oh, crud muffins. It's a nice, simple colorwork pattern, geometric design. Like, it looks really good. I like the colors they chose to do the sample one in. Yeah, you got your reds, your oranges.
I think they're not my colors, but yeah, I think they're like right for the design.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I think they
I kind of,
also one of the reddish background color anyway is like a red black speckle, and it adds this whole other dimension and makes it look a whole lot more complicated than I think it actually is.
yeah, yeah.
So I think
No,
that's a
for the
really cool
pattern I've
color
been shooting,
choice.
yeah, they did some really. I've enjoyed all the color choices, even if they weren't things I would wear. Next up is a poncho that's fringed
Oh
on the
dear,
bottom.
cadencia poncho,
uh,
cadencia.
Cadencia. It is definitely a natural waist-ending poncho, which puts it right into the no category for me. That is the whitest part of my body. Nothing ends there. No, nothing ends there. Never mind putting fringe on the bottom of it so it would go lower than my bum. Negative, Captain. Not happening. And I love me a good poncho. But I mean, the color's beautiful, but not that particular pattern work or design.
I really
I'm
like the
not a
texture on
massive
it though.
fringe fan. Yeah, like the pattern's beautiful and the color works beautiful, but it's too short and it's fringed. And I'm like, no.
I just don't generally do ponchos, so that didn't super attract me aside from the texture is gorgeous.
It's the fringe, and I'm always very cutthroat about fringe. Either I like it or I don't. And it's really hardcore dislike or like. It's time for a dude sweater.
A dude sweater. This is the Arkansas River pullover.
I always like the dude sweaters better. Which makes no sense.
They're like less frilly. This one has the shawl color that I super like, so honestly, I might possibly make this one for myself.
And is it the same male in every
Yes,
photo in every magazine? Like
yes,
we actually should look that up.
I'm pretty sure this is the same guy they've used in the last couple of issues, which
Same
I'm
dude.
okay with. He's very pretty.
He's a pretty dude. But there's got to be more than one male model out there who will put on knitwear.
I don't know. I'm okay with this one. He's pretty.
Fair. This one is a nice, again, simple color work, which I find the men's patterns tend to go towards cleaner lines pretty
Mm-hmm.
consistently, which I prefer cleaner lines. But we've got a nice little geometric stripe, but about mid chest for men, and then a gray chunk underneath, and then the bottom color, which is a lighter gray.
And then
But
it's
again, a
the
nice,
same on the sleeves as well. It
yes,
just
yeah,
yeah,
it is matching on the sleeves, which I really like. And then again, yeah, the shawl colors, which are just really nice.
love a good shawl
Maybe it's
color.
because we live in a province where shawl colors are super handy.
Yeah.
We have, however, found something I would knit in a color work even. Is
What?
anyone shocked it's a cardigan?
Oh yeah, that one. This is the Desert Nights cardigan. I also super love this one in those exact colors even.
I'm not sure about the colors. I could do the red, but I'm not sure if I could do that cream shade. I mean, it's possible I could. It's possible it might wash me out.
If you get the right shade of off-white.
I need the right shade of light beige to work with my shade of beige
Mhm.
to make everything not one shade of beige.
So this is
But
a
yeah,
cardigan that
it's a
has how would you
color
describe
work
that
cardigan.
design? The colorwork design. There's like a
Oh,
spirally square and then there's two band oh my
it's an
goodness.
Aztec. It's a traditional Aztec band at the top, which is the
Ah,
square
thank
shape.
you.
And then underneath, you've got some space, and you've got another stripe that's got a diamond pattern with a colorwork spots behind, and then you have another repeat of the diamond Aztec or the square Aztec pattern
Which is also
underneath.
repeated on the cups of the sleeves.
It is repeated on the cuffs of the
Which is a
sleeves and at
detail
the
that I
bottom of the sweater.
super love. I don't know why I love that so much, but just
I don't
repeating the
know.
yoke pattern on the sleeves.
It looks really good because it matches up with the with another Aztec band right down at the bottom, just before the ribbing, at the bottom of the cardigan.
I love
But
this one so much.
it is a beautiful classic cardigan with some pockets, and we all
Oh,
know girls'
pockets.
pants don't come with pockets, so that's handy. And a simple looks like a simple collar. So right up my alley, right up your alley.
Mhm.
I'm almost tempted to do it in like a gray with making the color work white,
Okay.
but that's because I look great in many shades of gray, and beige is a much harder. Beige to white's a lot harder. I could do it if I did it in like an either like a winter white, which is a really sharp white, or if we moved into like the chocolate browns. So might flip it up and reverse it just because that's what I'd be inclined to do. But that was definitely the first one that I was like, hello, you're pretty. Now we have a drapey shawl cardigan thing.
Bent's Fort cardigan. The colorwork design on this reminds me of kind of like a Great Gatsby 1920s sort of deal.
Ooh, totally does. I hadn't thought that.
And
I thought sun rays.
that too. And then it's sort of just an open front shaped cardigan, but then the bottom has like all this drapey stuff going on.
It is a totally you cardigan. It has got a
It's a very me
significant amount
shape.
of flow and drape going on with it.
I think I even like the colors. They've done it with a teal and a mustardy gold sort of color for the contrast.
Yeah.
I might even do it in those colors.
Really, yeah, no, it's if you like them drapey shawl collars.
Oh, and I love the texture on
is...
this collar. I don't know what to call that texture. It's sort of maybe cabled. Let me squint really closely, awkwardly at this.
I didn't look at it very closely because it didn't catch my eye.
It doesn't say what the stitch pattern is, and you've got the physical book, but or magazine.
Have the physical book, which you'll get back tomorrow.
Oh, I don't know. It looks sort of quilted, I guess, is the best word for that.
Yeah, that would be a good word to use for it. Yeah. I don't have my magnifying glass right beside me, so I can't actually read the print for you right now.
That's all right.
Which is okay, because I was like, oh, we're done with Jocelyn cardigans. No, we're not. Here's a cocoon cardigan next.
Indigo Trader cardigan. I actually didn't like this one.
Amazingly bold print.
It is very you. I saw that and I'm like, I bet Jocelyn's going to like this one and I'm going to disagree.
Oh yeah, you can disagree all you want, but you don't like patterns on the back of your clothing because you generally have your back covered.
Oh, it's not the pattern on the back. It's I don't really like the sweaters with the big bulky yarn.
Oh, I love sweaters with big bulky yarn. I'm a fan. They're perfect for cozying up in and loaning to my mother. But yeah, it's big and kind of, it reminds me of like an updated version of the grandpa sweater.
I guess.
So it reminds me of, with a big, and it's definitely Aztec,
I'll just wear the
New
grandpa
Mexico.
sweater myself.
Not Aztec, no, I'd go Navajo, First Nation inspired pattern on the back.
Oh, apparently I'm in the minority here. This one has 120 favorites on Ravelry versus some of the other ones I like, so I'm in the minority.
A big, beautiful, bold pattern and done in a chunky, like in a bulky knit, so like it wouldn't take long to do. But definitely up my alley. Full sleeved, comfy, cozy, something to wear around in the fall with my leggings and my knee-high boots while I'm running errands. Totally Jocelyn. And the buttons that they chose to do on the bottom of it are just nice big wood buttons. I got a thing about giant wooden buttons. I don't know.
Giant wooden buttons are pretty great, I have to say.
Yeah, it's totally. It's the return of the dude.
The return of the dude. Oh, let's see if I can figure out. Is it the? Yes, it is. The Salida cardigan. I think I'm saying that right.
I can't talk about it. I'm just gonna make fun of it.
I don't like the color work on the shoulders. It just looks like you took it off a different bit of a sweater.
Yeah.
So like, okay, let's explain this. It's sort of, I don't know, classic kind of grandpa style cardigan, and it's in a dark navy blue. But there's these patches on the shoulder that are white with yellow color work, and I just
reminds me of
don't get it.
Cowboy jackets.
I don't even know what they were going for. I don't.
Thing when you had like the blue jean and then you had the shoulder patch section, which was it was a thing. Very Western style, and my brain just went, my dad owned something like that. No, I didn't like it then either.
I don't know. I feel like maybe if instead of white and yellow, they just used the same blue as the rest of the sweater, so it was just the little yellow bits.
Yeah, I don't. I have no. It's just buckets.
The shape of the sweater looks good. And,
shaping looks fine, but I definitely don't prescribe to that pattern at all. And you're not gonna like everything. Some things your whole body's just gonna go, nope. And that seems to be the case today for me for this one. So now we've moved on to a shawl.
A shawl.
Yes, I will show the big picture of the shawl, which doesn't really show the shawl off that well.
No, this is the Whitehorn shawl.
It is a very pretty shawl.
It is. It
Maybe
looks
I
very
can do
pretty
this one.
on, and oh, there you've got the better pictures.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a nice big shawl. So like Jocelyn area right there.
Mm-hmm.
But we definitely have some nice color work bending going on.
I really like this one. I probably would do it in slightly different colors, just
I would
because
do it in alpaca.
those beigey colors just super don't go with stuff. But I do really like it.
Well, I'm thinking like because it's essentially got 3 colors going in it. You've got 2 neutrals and a what, blue?
It looks like there's the main neutral and then like a bluey green and a reddy brown,
Yeah.
browny
Yeah. So
red.
you're essentially you're looking at 2 shades of brown and a blue teal color for your contrasting colors. So like I would do it in alpaca, and then I would do an overdyed alpaca as my color contrast.
That's interesting.
So I would do that because that'll be nice and super fuzzy and great for winter. Obviously knitted at a smaller size because alpaca grows like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
But if I did that, then it wouldn't matter if it was in a lot of neutral colors because you can get it in like that camel color and that dark chocolate color or the
Yeah,
cream color. And
that
like
would be
those
lovely.
3 would look great together.
Yeah,
Or
that
a
would.
black if you wanted to have a really sharp contrast for
Ooh,
your
yeah.
color where the teal is. And then that would anchor it really well. I mean, it certainly fits the theme that they're going for. Like they nailed the colors for the theme that they were going for. I would just personally change the colors.
Realized I got off center there.
Yeah,
There,
no
I'm back
bother.
centered in my frame, which is
Okay.
not your frame. I'm not centered in
No,
your frame. I'm sorry.
that's fine. I don't mind. So that was my only comment on that one, and I was just like, you know what? I do kind of really like that shawl. It's really, really nice, and I think it'd be great come campfire time in the fall.
Oh yeah.
With a good cozy cardigan.
Mm.
You guys, I've got garments on the brain. Let's move on to another cardigan.
This is the Four Corners cardigan.
And I've got a few more pictures. This one is heavily color worked and patterned.
I just feel meh about this one.
While they have the right colors for the theme, this would look better in different colors.
I think maybe. I don't know. Let's see if I can
I find it too muted.
see if
Now, when
anybody
I'm
else has
talking
made it.
bands of color work, I mean, we've got bands and stripes of color work or just solid striping from your top of your shoulders where your yoke is, your collar, shawl collar starts, straight down on your arms as well too. So definitely not a boring knit, which is cool because after a while, miles and miles of stockinette can start to get to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I would super definitely pick different colors because I find these ones way too muted. I think a sharper color contrast would make those bands pop a lot better and give it a lot more presence and personality.
Maybe it's the colors. I don't know. Maybe I'll check back in on it in a few months and see what other Ravelry people have made it in. Ravelers. There we go. Ravelry people.
Ravelers.
Ravelers.
Left to my own devices and my love of bright, bold colors. They got what, 3, 4 different colors going on here? You got your background color. And then you got what, 2 different colors in your stripe work?
It's
In
so
your
hard to
color work sections?
tell. I can't honestly
2.
tell.
They're really, really quite close together. So like you could possibly have 3.
Gosh, sorry,
And I
I'm
don't
yawning.
remember.
I'm not bored. I swear I'm not bored. It's just approaching
It's late.
10:30 at night.
Yeah, we're both quite tired.
Let's see. This is DK Weight, and it says, "Are you going to tell me how many colors?" You're not going to tell me how many colors.
I'm going to hazard that it takes 2 to 3 contrasting colors and 1 main color.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
5?
6,
Okay,
7,
so it's got
8. 8. They have 8 colors listed on the Ravelry page.
That's totally fine. So that's 1 main color and 6 contrast colors, which works. You know what you could do the 6 contrast colors in? A gray gradient.
Oh yeah.
And then do a teal or a red as your background color.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would look really sharp. and have a lot of presence, but definitely not in more traditional Navajo kind of colors. So, or southeastern America, if you southwestern America, as you will. So definitely just a different color palette. I don't know if I want to do a sweater that's heavily color worked. I'm not that into color work, but I could see how it would work out really well in different color combinations. I'm going to flip past all the pages that are all the patterning. We're not sharing the secret sauce here, folks.
Nope.
So far, this magazine's doing really good. Like, there's enough patterns in here to
Oh,
justify
man.
the $10 Canadian I'd pay.
So, a few weeks ago, I was saying how I really wanted some lace stoles. Like, I could really go for a lace stole. And
Yeah.
this one has like 1, 2, 3. Sorry,
Kind
it
of.
has 2 lace stoles and a lace poncho.
Yep.
Ow.
Yep.
And some like
I'm
lacy
getting there.
shirts and stuff. So like this
There's a lot
this
of
super
charts, you
hit the
guys.
mark for me.
Lots of charts. Because
Oh, there's very many
color
charts.
Work.
Color work
Lots. I'm
charts,
still
lace
going.
charts.
There's
Oh,
still charts. I'm
oh
still
goodness.
going through charts.
Hurry up, I want to talk about the lace stoles. I'm so excited.
Listen, I'm not getting distracted by the advertisements. This in of itself is an accomplishment, folks. Go with me here. No, there's still more charts. Oh my god, so much
Flip
charts.
faster.
Oh, hey, they've got an article on the jogless cast on and bind off edges.
I did
In
read
the
that one.
round.
Yes, I
I've
was
not
reading
read
that
that
one,
one.
and I think I need to read it again to make the top of my socks look better.
I'm liking this. I'm gonna have to read that. I read the patterns. I didn't get through all the articles. Takes me longer to read the articles. Oh my goodness, we've reached the high desert lace section.
Ah, this
Diana's
is where
been waiting.
I've been so patient.
It's been so hard for her to wait for me to flip 15 million pages of color work. You
I'm
guys,
excited.
she's the color work fan.
It's great, but I'm really into this lace thing right now.
Shall we start with a lace poncho?
Yes. Is that the? No, that's not that one. Oh, it's the Mojave top. So
It's very cute.
It is. So
It's
let's
a
see.
striped yarn that they used with a lace pattern, and the lace pattern pops quite nicely around the stripe.
It does. It's sort of a zigzaggy, diamondy pattern.
Yeah, very nice and lightweight. Like this is totally like do that in like a lace weight linen. Could you imagine that as a summer top? Ah, beautiful.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very pretty.
It is very feminine, very delicate. The models matched it with blue jeans and a long sleeve shirt underneath.
Yeah, I think so. Just like
Yeah,
a dress shirt.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about the shirt choice, but I'm not a sleeve in the summer person, so wrong lady to ask here. But definitely cute. I do like it. I like that the lace pattern pops with the color changes, so you don't have to have like a nice tonal. You can play a little bit with what's going on. And if you look good in a horizontal stripe, and everybody does, you just need to know what stripe looks good. Why not? Do it up. All right. Hey, they've got 2 pictures, one on each side. So we've got a goldie colored dude going on
So this is the, oh dear, Taos. Taos? T? It's the Taos T? I'm probably butchering that word.
It's another cute little top for the summer. I'm not sure I like this lace pattern as much as I like the other one. I like the details on it.
I'm going to get the internet to tell me how to pronounce Taos.
Okay.
Right as soon as this video loads.
Okay. It's got a nice little detail on it, and there's a lot of sort of stockinette body key chunk to it. Taos?
Taos.
Taos? Okay.
It's a Taos
and I mean,
tea.
it looks good. It's not something I would wear or knit for myself. It's not really my style.
I think I like it. I don't know. I can't decide if I like it or not. I'm not really a fan of knitted shirts in general.
If it's got a pattern on it that I like the lace one we were just looking at, I would probably do it in one color or in a tonal that changes slightly. Like that I would do.
I'm also not sure about the split hem thing. I don't know.
Split hems look great on tons of people. Split hems are awesome.
I think I like it. I don't know. Something about knitted shirts. I just don't know.
I don't know. I wear knitted. You wear knitted stuff all the time. You just buy it commercially. It's really the only difference.
Hmm.
Up next, we got ourselves a wrappy thing.
The Moab stole.
Yeah, this one's pretty.
Or yeah. Yes, so lace stole. I'm really
Yeah,
excited.
yeah. It's really all you need to say.
And it's in fingering weight, which is not lace, so that's great.
Oh yeah, fingering weight, you guys.
So how do
Jocelyn's
I?
stoked.
Oh, it's arrowhead motifs and garter stitch.
Yeah. No, that sounds right.
So it's pretty simple and repetitive, and it just looks really good.
It looks really pretty. And in a fingering weight, it's something I could see to knit, so that's exciting. It's all about seeing stuff. Okay, so are we ready? It's time for the big poncho.
The big poncho.
The big poncho.
The Winona poncho.
Sure. Why not? I would not do the lace on the bottom or the fringe on the bottom
Well, we know how you feel about
because
fringe.
we know how I feel about fringe. However, the pattern in the poncho part,
It's sort of a wavy drop stitch looking lace, I think.
yes, it's definitely got sections of it might use short rows to get the shaping for the
Yeah, I don't know.
waves
Let's see if I can
or
get a close up
chevrony.
on here.
It's chevrony is what it
Ooh,
is.
chevrony.
It's chevrony
Okay, okay.
with definitely with some sort of drop stitch or extended stitch going on. But it looks great. Again, not in a beige, but that's because I can't wear beige. Not this particular shade of beige, anyway. This I know is the wrong shade of beige for Jocelyn. However, in a different color and without fringe,
How
I'd
about
wear it.
a blue color to go with the waviness?
Yeah, I would totally do that. Absolutely.
That does seem like
Totally
it would be
would.
lovely.
In a blue, I would do that. Not that I'm likely to make a lace poncho anytime soon. I mean, it could happen, but it's not on my agenda. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay.
All right.
What else we got?
We got ourselves. I want to call it a dress or a tunic top. I don't remember.
The Arizona tee.
So yeah, it's a tunic top then, because it's a long top.
It is long, yeah.
Yeah, I'd call it a tunic rather than just a t-shirt. But at a tunic length, Jocelyn likes that idea.
So the lace pattern is sort of triangles.
Geometric.
It's geometric, sort of triangles separated, bands of triangles separated by bands of trapezoids, diamonds.
Yes.
Trapezoidy diamonds.
Off-centered squares. Can we use all the words to describe geometric shapes? It's got a short sleeve, not a cap sleeve, but it's definitely got a short arm sleeve, which I can super appreciate. It definitely has. I like that they put the model in a tank top underneath it, or a dress underneath it, so you can see how it would look with a tank top styled shirt. I'm a tank top wearer. I have been for years. I wear tank tops in January, guys. I'm not a shirt person, but this one I would probably make. It's light, it's flowy. It would be long enough on its own to fit me properly without having to add like a ton of extra length.
I just don't know about this knitted top thing. I just can't. There's something, I don't know. Sweaters,
I would do
great.
it.
Scarves,
I would do
great.
it in a linen lace, like a shibui.
Oh, that would be glorious.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Glorious beyond imagining.
Some linen and silk. That would be
Oh,
a freaking wonderful summer top, guys.
glorious beyond imagining.
So good. I don't mind knitted tops. Like they're no different than wearing stretchy leggings. Like it's just a different type of fabric. So
I don't
all
know.
right.
I don't know what it is. Some psychological
How
blocker.
about some vestige?
A Flagstaff tee. Apparently it's a tee, even though it's very clearly a vest.
It is so a vest. This is not a t-shirt.
This is obviously a sweater vest with a very lovely lace pattern down the front middle.
These armholes. These are bigger than those silly men's wife beater tank tops.
I think this is a vest. It says it's a tee. It thinks it's a t-shirt. Anyway, it's got a lovely, lovely lace pattern down the front and the back panels in the middle. 3 columns of some kind of something.
It's a pull over vest because there's no opening in the middle, in the front, but I would. That's not a T-shirt.
Anyway, it's quite
Uh,
pretty, but again with the knitted tops, I'll just be quiet over here with my strange hang up.
It's fine. There are some things that I won't knit that people think's weird. That I'm like, no, I would never do that.
Okay, what's
It's not
next?
not a thing. That's it. That was the last pattern in the book.
What? I think we missed one.
Did we? Which one did we miss?
The Buena Vista stole. It's the reddish brown color with the lace and the cross pattern.
Oh,
I've been
I might
patiently
have
waiting
missed
for
it.
that one. That's my favorite one in the whole thing.
Hang on, let me back up. Maybe I went one page too quick. I did go one page too quick. At the start. It's at the start.
There we go. That's the one I was excited about.
I missed a page. It
so
happens.
this is my
'Cause
favorite
you were
one.
rushing me.
I'm sorry.
You were rushing me.
I'm sorry. This is my payback. Yeah.
For what?
So, or no, it's your revenge for me rushing you. That's what I
Yeah,
was trying to get
what
at.
happens? It's when you rush me. That's what happens. We miss a page.
So
That's a really pretty pattern.
Yeah, I don't
It's so
necessarily
you.
know
It's
about the
subtle.
cross pattern, but I feel like it's super subtle, so you wouldn't necessarily notice that it's crosses. And I don't know, I just really like it. Seems very
Crosses don't
classic.
automatically mean Christian. Just as a reference point.
Well, yes, but I mean,
I
most
wouldn't.
people are gonna go cross. Oh, Christian.
That's fair. I wouldn't make it, but I'm not a fan of like the skinnier wraps and stuff. I think we may have noticed if you've joined us before, Jocelyn is a fan of giant everything.
I don't know, this picture at the bottom here, it has her entire upper body is wrapped twice in this thing, so.
Yeah, she's also a model.
Well, yeah, okay.
And I'm gonna go with probably nowhere near my diameter in chest or shoulder width.
It says
That's
is
not a problem.
75 inches long and 18 inches wide. Knit in a sport wide. Yep.
Yeah, that's not that wide. My tape measures over at the computer desk.
Well, it's
And guys,
wide
I
enough.
have a 50 some odd inch wingspan. So long enough, but 18 inches?
Just throw another cross pattern in there.
On me, it would be too short width-wise.
Meh.
It would look off balance.
Anyway, I really like it.
I've got a pillow behind my back.
I'm probably going to knit it at some point.
Just not excited about knitting it.
I think that's
I can make a bunch of other things out of it.
I think is that it for all the review stuff?
That's it. We've made it!
Oh, it's 10:30 at night and I'm so tired. My wisdom tooth is coming in the bottom and it's just so itchy.
I've been there. I understand.
I've got some of that gum numbing stuff. I'm going to go put it on now that I'm done drinking tea.
So handy.
Oh, it's great. Love it.
And a new appreciation for all teething toddlers.
It's the worst. This wisdom tooth is coming in.
Oh, yeah. Oh. You see teething toddlers after you've had to deal with like wisdom teeth or like that extra molar coming in if you're super special. And you just think to yourself, no man, give her. You're in an age where it's appropriate to scream your distaste at the pain you are currently in.
I'm very fortunate it doesn't hurt. It's so far back it's right next to my jawbone, so when it shifts and tries to push the gums out of the way, there's nowhere for it to go, and so it just itches terribly.
I know. I've had the same problem for the last year and a bit, except mine isn't my wisdom teeth. Those were pulled when I was 18 because all four had impacted.
Ugh.
This is just an extra molar, which I still don't have space for.
All right, let's wrap this thing up so we can go to bed.
Absolutely. Tired. We made it to the end of another podcast. Diana, do you want to let everybody know where they can find us on the internet?
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry as Northern Knits Podcast. You can find all our show notes at northernknitspodcast.com. And if you'd like to get in contact with us, that would be northernknitspodcast@gmail.com.
Somebody will reply, I promise.
Yes, we do get to it eventually. We're very professional over here.
I try to get to it as soon as possible. Sometimes if I look at it and I'm in the middle of a meeting and I don't get to it right away, like right when the meeting's done, I forget.
Yeah.
Super forget. And I don't mean to. It's something that everybody does. So I
We're
try to
bad.
respond
We're bad
as
at
soon as I
this.
can for things.
We're ever so professional.
I think what I need to do is now that I have the day timer and everything else scheduled, I need to start scheduling check times. So like I
Yeah.
know that's my time to go check these things so that it's in my brain till it becomes a habit and then I'll be fine. So that's fine. It's like anything else. Once I get into the habit of it, it'll be fine. I'll remember to do it. So not the end of the world. I can be found on the internet consistently as Amber Dragon, spelled Dragun. I am the most active on Ravelry, all of the social media stuff for the Northern Knits podcast, my personal Twitter and Facebook.
All right. I am
Come stalk me on the internet.
Firewater and Fiber on Instagram, Fiber, the American way.
Mm-hmm.
Though I have otherwise changed my spelling to the Canadian way, which I still think is dumb because it's not pronounced with an RE. It's not a fibra, but whatever.
It's not for you to judge the English language.
You know
You must
what?
simply
It is.
function within the
It
English
is. I
language.
get to make all of the English language choices
Uh-huh.
because
That's
I
not how
say.
that works.
I am on Ravelry as Woolrat,
Mm-hmm.
and I am on Twitter doing non-yarny things as Artemis_134.
Don't worry, I talk yarn at her on Twitter.
She does, yes. I do
I talk
primarily
to her about
computer-y things on
all
Twitter,
sorts
though.
of stuff on Twitter. Your Twitter people have to be very confused when I chime in every once in a while.
I've got one foot in each of the D&D spheres and the information security spheres,
Mm-hmm.
and then like just a sprinkling of knitting, and it's just very eclectic. My feed is very eclectic.
Mine's a lot of books, a lot of books, a lot of yarn, and my preferred hobbies, mostly Critical Role because I'm a critter, so like a lot of Critical Role stuff, and local city stuff. Like the biggest chunk is books and local city stuff because I follow a lot of local Twitter feeds and businesses Twitter feeds and stuff. So
We're getting off track
including
again.
my mayor. I follow my mayor on Twitter.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So there's that. But as Diana would say, you should like, ascribe, or share, like, and subscribe.
Yeah, no, I stole that one from the Geek and Sundry channel. She'll like,
Totally
ascribe.
fair. She'll like, ascribe. And follow us. If you made it all the way to the end, then yeah, I'll prompt. The quicker we get to 500, the quicker there's a giveaway going on. To which you don't have to do anything but be subscribed to us. So there's a bonus. Easy peasy. And I'll say that's another episode done and in the books. So until next week, I say I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you,
don't forget to knit.
Super missed it.
Once again, sounded good on my end, which is what matters because I've got the recording device.
It always sounds so off on my end. It's so funny. All right. I don't know where my cat went.
I'm going to hit the stop button
Probably
now.
back to the window.